The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi. I'm your certified holistic health coach. With a W, I revitalize people's health by helping them identify the root causes of their health issues and create a custom, natural, holistic strategy to address them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I treat, heal, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I certainly can make your body more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life so much more. Now, why fast? It's in full swing, and you can join at any time. It is an intermittent fasting program that will get your cells and body humming, and in turn boosts your metabolism. It is unique with high-dense nutrition, nutrients, and so much more. And it's a part of all my programs, and you can do it as a standalone. You're welcome to contact me at my link tree by email or appointment at https://www.debi.changes.lives.com/linktree, all in lowercase. At that same link, you can get a copy of my #1 Amazon bestseller book, Women Rising. It's a collection of 25 women's transformational stories, including my own. It's a great gift for someone that's struggling. And you can get a copy for $20 or $25 if you want it signed. Once I get your email and your payment, I'll send you out the book. And today, we're going to revisit the Beach Reveal Retreat collaboration that includes my 6-month weight release journey, a few months for maintenance and accountability, dovetailed with you sharing your transformational story in a chapter of a book that you write in a retreat center in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Isn't that amazing? And Julie Ann will share insights and updates soon. This comprehensive program starts on March 1st because that's when the weight release program starts. My job is to guide you through your weight and health transformation. And I certainly am an ideal coach to do that. I've released a total of 70 pounds, and I've kept it off for over a decade. I certainly have the experience and tools to get you there. And as a certified holistic health coach, I help people learn what a clean, toxic-free diet's all about, and the 90 essential nutrients. If it wasn't for me being dead as a doornail with energy when I reached my 50-pound mark, I would have, and I went on to maintenance. I wouldn't have just change the slide. I wouldn't have been able to have the energy that I want to without the 90 essential nutrients. And that was my new plan. It made a big difference. I was able to stay up later at night. I used to go to bed at 8:30. And it's just natural energy. Plus, I released that additional 20 pounds. Now, as she's with the slide up, I also became a half marathon runner when I've never been able to run my whole entire life due to foot problems. The pain subsided and I started easing into running, and I started doing half marathons. I have done 6. Let me get those hands in there together, and I'm looking forward to my 7th. And each one improve upon each other. So you can see more details on my show, which is my first episode on W4W.com. Now, not only do I guide you with health and weight release, I also help you mold a new mindset so you're successful on your transformational journey. And that makes me a little bit different than other coaches out there. Once you decide to move forward with our Beach Reveal Retreat, your first week is a private session with me where I go over your health issues And it's considered an onboarding session where we will, take your measurements, your weight, and your BMI, and it becomes a baseline. And then I have you choose a plan, either Keto 90 or the Wellness 90. I give you the meal plans, directions, and answer your questions. And there's a fun homework assignment. You will create a new version of you in an avatar board. It's like a vision board. It's a pitch. You can use a picture of yourself you want from the past, or envision a new version of you doing fun activities and loving life. And you don't have to have this completely done by the first group meeting. I do recommend that, but you don't have to have done for the first group meeting. And you can find out more about how to create an avatar board from my episode Vision Cast at http // bit.ly/vision cast show, which is with capital V for vision, capital C for cast, and capital S for show. And by the way, I have a team who won the semifinalists in a challenge, and they are a mighty team that I coach as a group. In 3 months, one released 35 pounds on the Keto 90. The other one released 25 pounds on the Wellness 90. Now, the Keto 90 is a cleanest keto program out there. It is low in carbs, moderate protein, and high in healthy fats. The key is the healthy fats. And the Wellness 90 is kind of like the Mediterranean diet without the gluten and oils. I can create custom meal plans too for additional costs. And products are not included in the cost of this whole program because everybody has a unique fingerprint of health. And it's just impossible to put that into this program. So you have to pay additional for that. But what's great about the 90, both plans include that 90 essential nutrients. It gives you that energy that's natural. It will help you feel satisfied where you will not snack. And you're going to be so much more successful. Okay. And now the remaining 23 weeks, you'll be part of my group session, my group coaching. And my group coaching is fun because you will learn from others. It's friendly competition and camaraderie. And I do start you out with envisioning a new version of yourself from your avatar board. Now, if you don't have that ready for that first week, that's okay. I give you grace. Try to get it done as soon as you can. The weekly check-ins will also include, telling us how much weight you shed, how many inches that you lost. And also, we want to treasure your successes. And I help guide you through your obstacles and frustrations with resetting your mindset and releasing your emotions. And of course, I will help you with, obstacles like, plateaus and things like that. But I always end the calls with you looking at your avatar board again to envision that new person of you, because you're harnessing the power of the avatar board so that you can be successful on your transformational journey. And after 6 months, we will be doing a maintenance accountability group, which is going to be on Facebook, where you can make comments about what's going on with you. You guys can interact with the other teammates. You can even ask questions. If your teammates answer the questions, that's okay, but I will answer them too. And possibly we will have Julie Ann come in for one session where she will give you some insights for you writing your chapter of the book. Now, the actual dates for the Beach Revealed retreat will be November 6th through the 13th of this year. And right now on my show, I have Julie Ann as my guest from the Casa de Influencia. She will go into more details about writing your chapter in the book, the retreat accommodations and activities, and her new Roku channel. So she'll go into more details with that a little bit later. So hold off on those slides. Okay, and you can take the slides down. So Julie is the owner of House of Influence Retreat Center in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. She truly offers an authentic Mexican experience. She works with health and wellness professionals to create collaborative books that showcase extraordinary success stories when people are coached through breakthroughs of their living beliefs and I'll be doing that for you. She is the founder of Influence Publishing and has published over 300 best-selling authors in the last 14 years. She's a TEDx speaker. She's hosts a podcast called House of Influence and has a weekly segment on Radiante FM radio in Puerto Vallarta. She recently launched the House of Influence Media with her own Roku TV channel, where she features interviews with real people with their real lives. Wow. Can't wait to get Julie on so we can continue. But, Julie, wow, this Roku TV channel you just launched, that's amazing.
Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, it's really exciting actually, and it's kind of moving fast. So it's I'm excited to be talking about it on the show today.
Okay, great. Well, let's review the details of the Beach Reveal retreat first, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, from our first show, I learned that you moved to Puerto Vallarta. Was it in 2019?
Yes, it was. I've been here for now, for almost 5 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what prompted you to build this retreat center?
Well, it's a bit of a long story, but I'll give you the short story, the short version of it. I've been doing writing retreats in Puerto Vallarta for over 10 years. And so when my publishing company was in Vancouver, I would come down to Puerto Vallarta and I would rent a villa, and then I would do retreats for probably about 3 months of the year. And then eventually I said, I don't want to keep renting different villas. I want to actually have my own place. And I was looking around for different places. And a couple of years ago, unfortunately, during COVID, I lost my fiance. And when he passed away, he started to make magic happen on the other side. And so he directed me to the building that I'm in right now. And since then, I've been really enjoying the space in Puerto Vallarta and welcoming groups here, not only on writing retreats, but also on wellness retreats. And now we're going to start the TV channel. So it's very exciting that I now have this my own retreat center in Puerto Vallarta.
Wow, getting inspiration from beyond, that's amazing. That's such a lovely thing, actually. I got to say that writing is so therapeutic. When I wrote my own chapter in that book that I told you about earlier, it was so healing, and it was so easy to write. It just kind of flowed out of me. Can you talk briefly how you direct someone or prompt them to capture their story, and how's it possible that you can write this chapter in a book in a week?
Well, it does help that I've been doing this for 14 years, Debbie, and I have helped over 300 authors. So it's kind of second nature to me. But the whole idea of doing it in a week is that you can get away from your everyday distractions. Our lives are so busy. Our lives are always so busy. But if you come away to a retreat center for a whole week, then that's what you're focusing on. You're focusing on writing about your story. And for a lot of people, the thing that really makes it difficult to write is because they're totally and completely distracted all the time. You've got the dogs barking, the kids are screaming, the husband's demanding dinner, the phone's ringing, there's always so many demands on us. And so when you actually dedicate a whole week to just working on your book, you can get so much done. But when I'm facilitating a whole group of people together, then each person is writing a chapter. So between us, we're actually making the work of a book much smaller because we're dividing the work between us. And by the end of the week, because we've spent so much focused time on your story, you've actually written your first draft, which means that by the time you've left, I've already got the first draft of the manuscript. And then we go on to the editing process. And that can be done, later on in your own home. And it's not, that part doesn't take as it's not as focused and difficult as getting the first creative part, which is the actual writing of the story. And so it's because I'm able to help you actually get focus on your story. I'm kind of, if you like, I pull the story from out of people, and it's much easier to write about it when you understand your own story.
Exactly. And yeah, the editing part is really not that difficult. I mean, it was just, and yeah, you get distracted at home, I gotta admit, but I got it done. That deadline got it done. Actually, I was probably the first person to get my chapter in.
That's good.
But anyways, what if someone's shy and they don't want to share their story? What do you do?
Most people, if they're shy, it's not necessarily shyness. What it is that they're concerned about judgment, or they're concerned about how people will perceive them. So I really help people to understand that we are all individual people, and that, if we've got something that perhaps we're concerned that people are going to judge us because of that, like a label, for example. I help people to understand that you can actually turn that to your advantage, because when people are dealing with real people, right? When people know that you're being true and authentic, that actually makes people want to work with you and do business with you and have more friendships with you, because people can see that you are a true, authentic person. So when you have the courage to actually show people all your weaknesses and those, soft, vulnerable pieces, it's actually really good. I mean, it's I announced to the world on the TED stage just in 2016 that I was dyslexic, and I only discovered it when I was an adult.
Me
And
too.
I'd already had my publishing business for 5 years. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to ruin my business. I was worried about people judging me. But then I realized, well, hang on a minute. How many people will I inspire by sharing my story? Because if I share that I'm dyslexic, and yes, I have challenges, but you know what? It's actually it's a misunderstanding. So now I can educate people. I can educate people what dyslexia actually is. It's not a challenge with being able to learn how to read or write. It's actually a teaching disability. So it's people, we learn in a different way, and we think in a different way, and our brains function in a different way. So when you tell people that, they're now like, oh, that's so interesting. And then you can help people understand, well, yes, I may be different because of this, but this is why I do what I do. So it's not about being shy. It's more about judgment and overcoming maybe some stigmas or labels. As kind of part of what I do when we're here as a group, is to help people really look at who they are in the world in a different way.
Yeah, but you know what? That's going to make that story so much more enduring, and sometimes even more powerful.
Yeah.
Don't judge yourself against others. And that's why I tell people all the time, because your story is unique. Your story has purpose for you, and it's a powerful story to share.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that's something for them to really remember. Remember. So, anyways, and I just love the way my whole book turned out to be, and I'm really looking forward to this new one. And but one thing that seems like really new is this launch of a Roku TV channel. Will the people that are part of my beach review retreat be involved, sharing their story on your Roku TV channel?
I hope so. I hope so, Debbie. I hope so. Yes, the idea of the Roku TV channel is that we're actually going to be capturing people in real time, as they're sharing their stories. So what we're really hoping is that people will want to be part of that. They'll want to be part of a TV show. We're doing different programs, and we get sponsored by different people depending on what the show is about. So we're just about to launch the show, which is called Therapists Are Human Too. And that is actually a show about a book. So we had 9 therapists that were here, and they were sharing their vulnerable stories about, bringing themselves into the therapy room. So, we often think of therapists as being, people that don't really share their personal lives with their patients. And so this book was exactly the opposite. And the therapists were talking in great detail, not only about their personal lives, but how they actually brought their personal lives into the therapy room to actually help the patient. So it was the reciprocal benefits of the patient also helping the therapist, right? Because when you start to talk together, then the results are so much better. So
it's more relatable, right?
Yeah.
More relatable.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yes, Roku TV is just actually just announced in the new year that they have actually got now over 100 million viewers.
Wow.
Over half of the American households actually watch Roku either through their smart TV or actually through they can download the app very easily on their smart TV. But if they haven't got a smart TV, and this is one thing that a lot of people are doing, Debbie, is you can buy, it's like a Fire Stick, so it's like a
Yes.
Roku stick, and
Yes.
you can basically put it into any TV or even any computer, and you turn it into a smart TV. And so now more and more people are saying, you know what, we don't need to spend like $70 a month on satellite TV. We've got like 350 streaming channels here. And on top of that, we've got independent TV, which is the reality TV, which is where our channel will be housed on the reality TV channel. So it'll be called the House of Influence Publishing and Media Channel. And we'll be featuring all of the people that come through our retreat center and write books. We'll be like a camera, like a fly on the wall, capturing those people in real time.
Okay, so people are not going to be, seeing a camera and really getting weirded out by that whole experience, right?
Well, that's why we'll be making sure, Debbie, that before we film anybody, we'll have people, sign media release forms. And if people say, I don't want to be in this show, then that's fine. We can only film those people that actually want to be on the TV. So we want to make sure that people, actually want to feel that experience. And of course, for some people, it's important for them to actually see the footage as well before it goes live. So yeah, so we always make sure that people are not have any surprises when they get on TV. We want to show them in their best light.
Yeah, it's because they don't want to be uncomfortable. I get that. And some people are just not, when a camera's in their face, and I hope that's not the case, they just they kind of shut down and get shy.
Yes.
It's something to think about. So
yeah,
sometimes when you have a camera that's really not noticeable, that's a little bit easier for people to just be themselves, and they'll forget anything is there.
Yeah, you don't need these great big huge cameras anymore like you used to see. The TV cameras were really big. These are just look like a normal camera. But as I say, the footage is generally done in a studio like this. So rather than like trying to trick people or film them quietly, or we really prefer to do interviews like in a studio or in the environment, so people are already prepared. The whole idea is that we help people express their story, and so we don't want people to be surprised. We don't want to like suddenly jump on somebody and say, so what do you think about this? We only want to be capturing you when you've got clarity about your story and you've got clarity about your message, and then you can share that on TV. And that's part of if our training, if you like. Our training is not just about helping you to write a book, but helping you to express your story in a way that you feel comfortable with, whether you're going to do that in a book or on the stage or on TV.
So you don't necessarily do that in the, the sessions where they're at the beginning, molding their story for the book, right?
Yes, exactly. It's the biggest part of what we do at this retreat when we're helping people share their story is helping them to decide how do they want to share that story. So, for example, with this beach reveal retreat, perhaps people don't want to go into all of the details of, what they had to do to get through their journey. It's more about reflecting and looking back and saying, look where I am now. Look, I feel so proud of what I've achieved. And here I am in Puerto Vallarta, and I can very comfortably, put my bikini on, my swimming costume. I can feel comfortable walking on the beach. I feel proud of what I've done. And it's more about that, Debi. It's more about helping people to share their success, because then what that does is inspire other people to do the same. And that's what we're all about, is helping people to help other people by sharing their stories.
Exactly. And be comfortable about it, that's really important because some people are just shy,
Mhm,
and they're not
mhm.
really, unless you get in a conversation like we are, it becomes more natural, right? Where, if people are trying to, play up, it's just not as natural as authentic as it can be.
Well, and it comes from that uh being authentic and real first. So, I mean, that's why we create an environment where people can feel safe. They're not going to be looked over by strangers or neighbors, or, we're in a retreat center. So that's the whole idea, is that you can be raw and real, and there's no judgment, because you're only within a small group of people where all those people are supporting and helping one another. And what happens is, then you feel comfortable about expressing your feelings. And then once you've kind of processed those feelings, then you can say, oh wow, I can help other people now, and help people to understand, this is how I went for this journey, this is why I went for this journey, and hey, you know what, it's really, really worth it. And then once they're at that point, now they know how to express it in the chapter of a book, and now they know how to express it, on a podcast show, a radio show, or on a TV show. So we're never going to like surprise people, stick a camera in their face or a microphone in the mouth and say, tell us about this. We're going to do a lot of preparation beforehand and process all those emotions that go with it, because that's the most important thing. We want you to feel comfortable about sharing your story, because people are going to ask you anyway, when they see how much weight you've lost, because I know this happened to you too as well, Debi. When people go, wow, look at you, you look amazing, what did you do, how did you get on that journey? And now you can share that journey, and you can answer those questions, but with that confidence, and with that saying, well, actually it wasn't easy, but I did this, this, and this, and I got the support from Debi, and I was on a proper diet plan, and I had a proper exercise plan. I had a group to support me. And, all of these things are the things that people need to know. You should never take on these kind of challenges by yourself. Like that's difficult, right? When you're in, like you're trying to control your diet, or you're trying to figure out what you can eat, and you're trying to figure out like what's good for you and what's bad for you, and then stay motivated. That's a real challenge. So, having this kind of support group where you can actually take on a challenge and then share your successes together, and then write it in a book where you actually share those successes, and then celebrate on the beach, and then celebrate by sharing that in front of the TV camera if you want to. I mean, and that's the point, Debi, is we're not forcing anybody to do any of these things. But I think that people will find that when they see themselves on camera, and they see how good they look because they've been through your program, they're going to want to share that with the world. And we're going to help them do that. We're going to help them express and help them feel great about what they've done, so that then they can help other people, because people inspire people, right?
Exactly. That's why that book I did just inspires people from the 25 different women that have different, transformational stories. So
Mhm.
it's a great gift that you're giving out to the world. And what's another thing that's really special about this program, it is a 6-month weight release journey with a couple more months. And you're going to become friends with these people. You
Yes.
can know a little bit about them, and they're going to know a little bit about you. And
Yes.
it's going to be a fun way of releasing weight, especially when you have such a carrot at the end. And they will just really treasure this time of, becoming a better person through their transformation and actually solidifying and releasing the past. And, so they can, venture off on a brand new life.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's the sharing and the bonding of the people that are on a journey together. That's the part that is really, really special. And and that's what I love about facilitating groups of people at the House of Influence, just bringing all these people together that are supporting one another. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful to capture people during that journey, but that they don't have to do it alone, right? That they're doing it together. That's the beautiful thing. Together we can create so many things.
And they learn so much from each other too. That's what people told me with my group coach. I've learned so much from you and everyone else's, what was going on with everybody else. So that's important, and just a connection with people. Connection with people is so important these days, especially after what we've been through. And you have a brand new best friend or friends that you can go out and have fun with, that's the point. Now, let's say they want to share more in the book than they want to share in the video. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that this is we usually have a target of around 3,000 words to share the story in the book. But, a lot of people, once they start to share their story, they realize, you know what, I want to share more. And now that I've really delved into my story, now I want to do so many other things with my life. The title of your show, Debi, is Debi Changes Lives. And, you're not just changing lives by changing the way people look. You change the way they feel about themselves. And that can lead to people, leaving their husbands, leaving their job, moving country, changing job, becoming an entrepreneur, starting a podcast show or a radio show, starting a TV show. It really, when you change lives, it's a big change. So it's not
a change of lifestyle. It really is. But
it's a change of
lifestyle. If you really love your family, you keep them around.
Yes.
They're your support group, and that's what I kind of talk about in that Vision Cast episode. Who's your support group? So, and breaking down their personality and how they can look for gaps in their life, as well as celebrations in their life and what they're going to do about their gaps. So that's the whole point. But so that's what I help people with, with mindset and emotion, and not many weight loss journey coaches do that. So that's really important, because it's your passion and emotion that's going to drive you. So you got to drive that passion and emotion. That's what's great about the celebratory reward, is that it's going to do that for you. And also that avatar board of that new version of them, that's going to remind them daily of what they want to do and what they're going to achieve. And they're going to achieve that, because these weekly Zoom meetings are good too, but you need to, in between that, you need to do something as well.
Yeah. So that's the whole part, right? At the holistic
part. Exactly. Mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
So, I want to just remind them briefly about the accommodations. As a matter of fact, we may have a little bit more time than briefly, but, the accommodations are going to be at the retreat center on November 6th to the 13th. And if we can go to the first, get a close up of the bedroom, and you can explain that. You did this in a theme, didn't you?
I did. Yes. I wanted people to have a really authentic Mexican experience. And so when we first came into this building, everything was painted white. And in fact, it's funny because there's an actual white that's called Mexican white, which I call dirty white. It's not even like this bright white. It's like this dirty white color. And I was like, Mexico is all about color. It's all about brightness. It's all about happiness. And of course, Frida is a very, very famous artist from Mexico. There was a movie that was made from her as well. And she really epitomized the colors of Mexico. And when I went to see her home, which is now a museum in Mexico City, it's on the outside. It's this beautiful blue color, which they call Frida blue. It's an actual color in the paint store. It's actually called Frida blue, and it's actually that little blue. It's that blue color that you're seeing on that painting there. That's called Frida blue. And then the yellows, it's mango yellow. You know, it's not like a daffodil yellow. It's like this rich, almost like orange, very warm yellow. And then there's fuchsia pink, and then there's the aqua, which is most of the bedrooms are painted predominantly in the aqua color, which is this beautiful, calming, color, and all of the bed linens and everything are mostly in aqua, or they're in fuchsia pink. So we've been really mindful in making the environment that you're staying in, very different to the environment at home. And so you'll immediately feel uplifted and happy just by experiencing the colors in the House of Influence, because everything is painted very brightly, and we have bright textiles. We have bright colored tablecloths and seat covers and curtains. Everything are beautiful, bright, happy colors at the House of Influence.
Yeah, I even painted the ceilings, but you know what? It is an uplifting room. Mm-hmm. The light is really great. And I don't know how hot it gets there, but it's going to be cool for you to sleep, right?
Oh yeah, actually in November, November is the start of the of what they would call, if you like, the winter season. So the summer is hot and humid, and it's actually the humidity in the summer is you don't want to be here in July or August. Let's say that, Debbie. November is the start of the winter season. It's cooler in the evenings. In fact, a lot of people need a shawl, or it can. At the moment, I've got a blanket in my bed, in the evenings, and so it is it's the time of year where you are really enjoying. The rainy season is just finished, so there's a lot less rain, if no rain. Certainly by December, there's no rain. In November, there might still be a little bit, but it'll just be a little tropical storm. And but it's a beautiful time of the year, because you finish with that hot, humid summer. Whereas for most people in North America, November, they're already into quite cold weather. So it's a really it's a lovely contrast for them, to come from the colder, gray, dark climate into this beautiful climate where it's light until 6:30, 7 o'clock.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can watch the sunset. Right here, we're overlooking the ocean, so you see the sunset on the actual ocean, and it's just beautiful. In fact, I posted a video this morning on Facebook, because I woke up this morning and I looked out my window, and I've got a gorgeous view of the ocean, and there was a big cruise ship that was coming in. And so as the cruise ship's kind of like, coming into the entrance of Puerto Vallarta, it was completely lit up by the morning sunlight. And it almost looked like it was floating, which is really funny, because I'm like, well, it is floating because it's a boat and it's a ship, but it was almost like it was floating in the air, right? Because it was so bright with the morning sunlight. And anyway, I posted that on my Facebook page. So House of Influence is my Facebook page, and you can go there and you can see some of the beauty of this place that I capture, just out from the balcony. So you can get a real feel of, what does it look like when you wake up in the morning and you look out at your balcony? What's it going to look like? And so that is really, what gets captured on that Facebook page. So you can always go there and have a look and really get a feel for the House of Influence.
Okay. Well, let's transition to the food. When you release that weight, you worked so hard to release that weight. I'm sure you have a cuisine that's clean and toxic free and good for them, don't you?
Yes, there's a lot of people who actually misunderstand Mexican food because, the Mexican food you have in a North American restaurant compared to the real authentic Mexican food that you have here in Mexico, it's a very different story. I mean, I think one of the things that people don't realize is that in Mexico, a lot of fruits and vegetables are grown right here. So you don't have that same situation that you tend to have in America, where you have a lot of imported foods that have been, frozen, or they've been picked unripe. And then you're buying that fruit either unripe or overripe because, it's ripened in the store. So, when you buy an avocado here, it's a big, juicy, like the flesh is just, it's amazing. Tomatoes, tomatoes are like bright red. And, if you eat a tomato here, it feels like you're eating a fruit. It's so sweet and it's so juicy. And, often in America, tomatoes aren't red anymore. They got that, they're almost like got a color about them that's almost like orangey, or they're hard, they're not kind of squishy. And so all of the vegetables here are really incredible. Even things like cucumbers, everybody grows cucumbers in their back garden, literally, and obviously the fruits like papayas are very, very common. And so the things that you will experience here in terms of food is the freshness of the food. So when you are eating that succulent, juicy tomato, you won't feel like you're, eating a salad that isn't tasty. You'll be doing the opposite. You'll be eating this succulent, juicy tomato going, oh my goodness, like this tastes like a juicy,
so wonderful, huh?
Fruit, right?
Yeah.
And my mouth is watering as I'm telling you.
Okay, let's transition. I'm sure you have purified water too, but let's transition to the fun activities and how you experience culture. We only have a few minutes left and I have to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
So just briefly touched on that and then I got to wrap up.
Absolutely. It's not just about the beach, right? Except to say we do have a really, really beautiful beach, but the culture here in Puerto Vallarta is incredible. The architecture is based on a lot of the traditional Spanish architecture. So the streets are cobbled streets. The architecture, you can see here the picture of the church. This church is over 100 years old. It's very famous. The crown of the church is very famous. And we're gonna help you really experience the culture of Mexico. So this isn't just about a beach holiday. It's about you really understanding the people, the culture, the music, everything that makes Puerto Vallarta this beautiful Mexican town. It's a little city. It was actually voted one of the friendliest small cities in the world. And you will experience that. You'll experience how absolutely friendly the people are. And I have to say, Debi, that it was voted the second best place in the world to retire to. Puerto Vallarta crime rate is literally zero, right? It's literally zero. And I know that there's, people talk about cartels in Cancun or Acapulco. We're not like that on the West Coast, right? You won't see anything like that here in Puerto Vallarta. You will feel so safe. During the holidays, the Malecon is full of families. Everybody's enjoying themselves. You never hear any violence ever. I've been here for 5 years. I've never heard anyone shouting, arguing. I've never seen a fight. I've certainly never heard a gunshot or heard of violence through, like knives or anything like that. Nothing, absolutely nothing in the news, like nothing. It is, I think it's the safest place in the world. I've traveled around the world, and personally for me, I feel so safe here. My neighbors look out for me. I can go dancing and walk home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I feel looked after by my neighbors, and I feel very, very safe here as a woman alone. And so you're going to get to experience that side of Mexico.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, we don't have time to talk about the different excursions, but you're going to have excursions. I guess we could show the picture of different type of trips. And also, you're going to experience some sunsets too.
Yes.
So I really want to share with people what the price of the retreat is and if there's payment plans.
Yes, yes. We've come up with an amazing package here, Debi. I'm blown away by it because you've made things very, very affordable for people. So the price of the package is only $3,997. And what you've done, which I think is incredible, is that you've made this very affordable by offering payment plans. So you can pay for the whole thing $500 a month. I mean, I think that is very, very affordable for people. So over 8 months, you can pay $500 a month. And now you can have this whole program and have the experience in Puerto Vallarta and write a chapter in a book. And it only costs you $500 a month for 8 months. So I think that's an amazing.
And then there's the publishing cost and how to market their book too, just giving them ideas, right?
Yes. I mean, a lot of people pay that just to be in a book and pay that just for the publishing costs. So this is all included, like plus your program. So it's your program, it's accommodation, it's excursions, it's food, it's book coaching, it's all of the publishing costs, the editing, the design, the distribution, everything. So I mean, this is an amazing deal, Debi, and for to help people really experience and share the change that you're going to make in their life. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So thank you, Julie Ann, for coming back, and stick around. I want everyone to join us because this program is going to be such a celebratory award that will drive you with passion and emotions for you to achieve your health transformation at the Beach Reveal Retreat. And you're welcome to ask me questions. Now, remember, the Beach Reveal Retreat it starts on March 1st with that weight release journey. You're right. And then you go to the retreat in Puerto Vallarta in November, which is 6th to the 13th. You email me or set up an appointment to ask me questions at my link tree, which is https://www.debi, Debi Changes, Changes Lives, Livs, like the show name, .com/Linktree, and it's all in lowercase. That's LINKTREE. And I will answer your questions. And also, that's where you would pay me through. That's where you contact me to sign up. At that same link, you can either email me or set an appointment to get more details about YFast, an intermittent fasting program that will get your cells and body humming. In turn, boosts your metabolism. It's unique with high-dense nutrients and nutrition and so much more. It can be a standalone, but I also incorporate it into my programs. Contact me to get started. And you're always welcome to set up a complimentary consultation at the same link tree by selecting the appointment button. You get to know me, I get to know you, and I will guide you to optimize your health. Also on that same appointment button are my Zytoscan offerings. And my Zyto link is something you can actually do remotely. You'll find that amazing too. Get it done. So you can finally email me to get a copy of my book, which is the #1 Amazon bestseller called Women Rising. It's a collection of 25 women's stories, including my own. It's a great way to give a gift to someone that's struggling. A copy is $20 and a signed copy is $25. And once I get that email and payment, the book is sent off to you. And finally, sign up for my newsletter to get to know upcoming shows and events I'm doing, as well as promotions. And as a gift, I give you this journal. You go to https://bit.ly/radio TV show, all as one word, lowercase. And this journal is a 30-day mindset and health journal. It's a daily action journal where you can track your gratitude, your thoughts, your emotions, and your feelings for the day, the foods that you ate, the water that you drank, and the exercise that you do, as well as track your measurements. You need to review this on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis to really get a lot out of it, because you'll see your successes and you'll see those little gaps. And if you can't handle, getting over those little gaps, then you contact me as your coach, and I'm more than happy to help you. I'm certain that you found this episode awe-inspiring, educational, and enjoyed it. And you're welcome to ask me questions. So continue enjoying my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.